to fear if she's telling the truth.
What she did and how she bullied her way through the process to take over the movie and used her PR people to try and destroy Justin.
I will happily participate in releasing any further leaks that they have, because the truth...
Has Hollywood's once untouchable star finally run into a storm she can't outrun? Or are we watching a manufactured smear take on a life of its own? The entertainment world is built on spectacle, but the legal fight now playing out between Blake Lively and Justin Baldwin has jumped from rumor mills into courtroom filings with dizzying speed. What started as industry gossip has attracted formal accusations, public statements, and intense media scrutiny. Lawyers are trading papers, people are subpoenaing records, and the reputational stakes could reshape both careers. This isn't just tabloid fodder anymore. It's a real legal drama with consequences that may outlast the headlines.
Time and time again, she accuses him of doing something, which then when you hear the full context, is an absolute...
On paper, the pairing of Blake Lively and Justin Baldwin read like a filmmaker's dream. Two high-profile talents poised to bring It Ends With Us to life with star power and publicity to spare. But behind that glossy veneer, the relationship between filmmaker and leading actor has fractured into a bitter legal showdown filled with competing claims. Each side has filed pointed accusations, and the public is left parsing sworn statements, leaked snippets, and conflicting timelines. Fans and industry observers are divided, and social feeds are full of takeaways that rarely agree. As we walk through the facts, expect contradictions, legal nuance, and moments that will make you question what you thought you knew.
Only reason this whole thing got started before she filed the lawsuit, she just went to the California Human Rights Office, is because she clearly cooperated with the New York Times.
The story began innocently. Two charismatic professionals signed to headline a high-profile project expected to be a box office draw. Blake Lively arrived with a slate of hits and a reputation for influencing creative choices, while Justin Baldwin brought a reputation for earnest storytelling and a devoted following. On paper, they were an ideal creative match. In private, tensions reportedly grew. Sources claimed there were disputes over script revisions, creative control, and the direction of key scenes, and those disagreements allegedly escalated into ongoing friction on set. Over time, anonymous tips, supposed text exchanges, and audio clips started circulating online, stoking suspicion even before any formal court papers appeared. Gossip outlets ran with suggestive headlines, which only widened the spotlight and intensified internal divisions among cast and crew. What may have started as professional differences now reads like the opening chapter of a lawsuit, and that escalation has left many people involved feeling both shocked and exposed.
Have to fear if she's telling the truth. Time and time again, she accuses him of doing something, which then when you hear the full context, is an absolute nothing.
Then a high-profile interviewer stepped in, determined to lift the lid on what had been mostly rumor until that moment. Megyn Kelly approached the story like a legal investigator, conducting thorough interviews and pressing witnesses for specifics rather than accepting broad claims at face value. Her segments examined timelines, compared inconsistent statements, and highlighted documents that raised fresh questions about credibility. Kelly's reporting didn't just summarize the drama, it dissected it, forcing both public opinion and some legal observers to reassess early assumptions. Whether you view her coverage as rigorous or relentless, it undeniably added momentum to the conversation and sharpened the legal focus on several disputed points.
TMZ has gotten its hands on that video, and you can hear Blake Lively and Justin Baldwin interacting as themselves, knowing that this is all on video and that this is going to be used to create this dance scene, and no such moment is shown.
Megyn Kelly's investigation disrupted the public narrative and forced a reevaluation of Blake Lively's claims. She drew attention to contradictions surrounding a silent montage scene Blake had described as deeply uncomfortable. Yet, when production transcripts and internal footage surfaced, the tone appeared relaxed rather than tense. Kelly pointed to moments where Blake was laughing softly, leaning in to whisper to Justin, and engaging in what looked like friendly interaction. A stark contrast to the environment she later portrayed, the reaction from viewers was immediate. Many were left wondering why a seemingly agreeable moment was later framed as troubling. Was it a shift in perception, a legal strategy, or evidence of deeper conflict that hadn't yet come to light? Kelly didn't claim to have all the answers, but she opened the door to broader scrutiny. Her reporting suggested more materials, from videos to private messages, might exist that challenged the official version of events. That implication ignited online debate. Not long after, outlets like TMZ began releasing short clips and alleged excerpts, pushing the discussion into overdrive and raising questions about what really happened on set.
Oh my gosh, we don't shut up.
And Emily and I we have this moment.
And says, am I getting beard on you?
It smells good.
Well, it's not that. It's my body makeup.
Right. And then says, smells good. And she says, it's my body makeup. That's her.
One of the first leaked videos showed Blake and Justin standing close together during a break in filming, trading what witnesses described as light teasing and casual remarks. Their body language didn't suggest distress or hostility, and both appeared fully aware of nearby cameras and crew. While the clip doesn't settle the dispute, it challenges the idea of a consistently hostile environment. Observers noted that neither party displayed discomfort, avoidance, or tension. The tone was informal, even friendly. For many watching from the outside, this raised an uncomfortable possibility. Either the tone shifted later, or key details were misrepresented once the legal conflict began. The footage alone doesn't dismiss Blake's claims, but it weakens the perception that she was isolated or intimidated in every interaction.
Why should Justin be able to release snippets to the media without the full context? That's what she said. That's what she did. She alleges that she's a Me Too victim.
Soon after, alleged text messages surfaced that further complicated the story. In them, Blake appeared to be initiating conversations with Justin about meeting privately and referencing personal moments, including topics like motherhood. Commentators argued that someone feeling unsafe rarely maintains such casual communication. Instead, the messages hinted at a level of familiarity beyond routine professionalism. The public began asking whether the tone between them changed later, or if the allegations were part of a strategic shift. Blake's supporters maintained that discomfort can develop gradually, and that someone might remain polite to avoid escalating tension. Critics, however, saw the emerging correspondence as evidence that the complaint may have been carefully constructed. Legally, the situation escalated quickly. Blake filed a harassment and retaliation complaint, alleging her concerns were minimized and her attempts to speak up were met with resistance. Justin countered with a defamation and extortion claim, accusing her of manipulating the narrative to conceal behind-the-scenes maneuvering. As both sides prepared for litigation, Blake's request for a gag order drew divided reactions, viewed by some as standard legal protocol and by others as a move to block damaging revelations. At this stage, the case had evolved into a broader conflict over credibility, intent, and public perception.
And Blake was interested in wresting control of this movie away from Justin, who was the director and the producer. She was just in it.
As legal filings mounted, audiences followed the developments with a mix of fascination and disbelief. Was Blake acting out of genuine distress, or was she attempting to shape the story in her favor? The case had barely begun, yet it already resembled a cinematic drama complete with conflicting accounts and strategic leaks. Reports from production insiders added another layer. They claimed Blake involved herself in decisions far beyond her duties as lead actress, reviewing scripts, suggesting revisions, and pushing for control over the portrayal of her character. Some crew members privately expressed concern that her input blurred the line between collaboration and overreach. Tension reportedly simmered as creative authority became a point of contention, setting the stage for deeper conflict behind closed doors.
Why should Justin be able to release snippets to the media without the full context? That's what she said. That's what she did. She alleges that she's a Me Too victim.
Justin, serving as both director and producer, was said to have a clear vision for the film. Yet managing expectations became increasingly difficult with a star of Blake's stature, especially one backed by her association with Ryan Reynolds. While some compromises were made, friction didn't disappear. From Justin's perspective, Blake's involvement began crossing into territory normally reserved for the directing team. According to his camp, disputes over artistic control eventually shifted into personal accusations when he refused to grant full creative concessions. What began as disagreements over direction reportedly escalated into allegations with legal consequences. Those close to production described the breakdown as gradual yet unavoidable once both sides felt their authority was being challenged.
Have to fear if she's telling the truth. Time and time again, she accuses him of doing something, which then when you hear the full context is an absolute nothing.
Whether Justin's side of the story is entirely accurate continues to be debated, but the case reflects a recurring pattern in the entertainment industry, the thin divide between influence and interference. Ryan Reynolds' silence has only deepened speculation. Some believe he is advising Blake privately, while others think he's keeping his distance to avoid inflaming an already volatile situation. His absence from the public conversation adds another shadow to an already complex dispute. Matters intensified when Justin filed a $400 million lawsuit, a figure that drew immediate attention. Legal analysts suggested the number was likely intended to send a message rather than serve as a realistic damages estimate. Still, it raised the stakes dramatically. To prevail, Justin must argue that Blake's allegations caused severe professional and financial harm, from lost deals to reputational fallout. Critics call the claim excessive, noting that such sums are typically reserved for major corporate battles. Even so, the sheer size of the lawsuit could pressure Blake's legal team to consider settlement options. Blake responded by framing the countersuit as a textbook Darvo scenario: deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender, accusing Justin of flipping the narrative to avoid accountability. The public reaction continued to shift as leaked voice recordings, alleged texts, and insider statements emerged over time. Fans who initially took sides began reevaluating their positions, recognizing that the case was far more layered than early headlines suggested. In Hollywood, the battle for public opinion can be as consequential as the ruling in court.
Have to fear if she's telling the truth. Time and time again, she accuses him of doing something, which then when you hear the full context is an absolute nothing.
As more information surfaced, even longtime supporters of Blake began voicing concerns. They questioned why someone who claimed to feel distressed would send seemingly playful messages or appear relaxed in recorded footage. Commentators drew parallels to past celebrity cases where initial outrage gave way to skepticism after contradictory evidence emerged. Though each situation differs, the shift in public temperature felt familiar. Support first, reassessment later. Voices on both sides held firm. Some argued that outward friendliness can mask deeper discomfort, especially in environments where careers and reputations are on the line. Others suspected Blake may have acted preemptively to divert attention from her own influence on production. Whatever the interpretation, no one involved has emerged unscathed. The dispute has already produced lawsuits, countersuits, media leaks, and a staggering damages claim that would be headline-making on its OWN.at. The center of the drama are two crucial questions: who is telling the truth, and who is protecting their image through carefully crafted messaging? With a trial date approaching, every new release, from leaked clips to sworn statements, becomes ammunition in the broader war of perception. The legal outcome remains uncertain, but in Hollywood, the court of public opinion renders its judgments far earlier. Observers now wait to see whether Blake can retain her status as a beloved figure, or whether Justin will convince the public he was unfairly targeted. The stakes extend beyond their reputations. They touch the unspoken hierarchies and power struggles that define the industry. In a place where the narrative often matters as much as the facts, the biggest twists may still be unfolding off camera. Whatever comes next, this story has already broken expectations, and it may continue to do so right up until the final ruling or beyond.